Straightened up a little bit. I'm under construction, so rebuilding, reorganizing the trading space, the office space. So bear with me. I appreciate you being here. Go ahead and drop in the comments where you joining us from today. Let me make sure my audio is right. That should actually be a little bit better. Let me bring this mic in. Perfect, perfect. Let me know where you're joining us from today. Let me grab one more thing. Make sure we're in good shape to get started today. So drop your state in the comments. Tell me where you're calling from, and welcome to Trader Truth Tuesday. I'm Jamila Brown. How are y'all doing? Let me know where you're calling from. I see my accelerator community in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let's see. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I want to see what states we have in the comments. I hope that everybody's having an amazing Tuesday. It's July 8th. And if you're watching this on the rewatch, drop hashtag rewatch in the comments just so I know and I can come back to you. And I always respond to all comments, whether they're live or after the fact on the post. We're getting into some heavy truths today, right? Heavy truths today. And the reason why I say this one is heavy is because there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of, you should do it this way. You should do it that way. You should do it this way. Or like Y, like Z, like A, like F, like G, like M. There's so many variations. And not saying that anyone is wrong. What works for me may not work for you and may not work for the next person or could work for the next person. But there are some fundamental underlying truths that I think everybody should understand. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So for those of you that are new here and don't know, I'm Jamila Brown, founder, trader, coach for Disciplined Trading Team. I also have an accelerator community. I know some of them are in the chat. We got New Jersey in the house. Let me know if, oh, you saying my music's a little bit loud? Let me go ahead and taper that down a little bit because we into it. All right. Let me know if that's a little bit better for me. I appreciate you, blacks. So with that being said, we're getting the audio right. Make sure the sound, the music, everything else, we should be pretty good. Just let me know in the comments if that's a little bit better. So what we're talking about today is something that, frankly, I probably have been getting this in my DMs, emails, on social media for, I don't know, years. Probably as long as I've been doing any type of trading and people know that I do that publicly. So probably since 2020 at a minimum, maybe even before that. For some of my long-term investors, I would get this question all the time. It would either be one of two questions that I would get all the time, right? And I think it's time that we kind of dispel some of the myths and get some of the truth around it. And you may have asked this question, and I want you to drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever asked a question around this. How much should I start investing with? How much should I start trading with? So that's one question. How much should I start with? And can I really start trading with just $500? Have you ever asked that question of someone? Have you ever thought about that question? Right? At any point in time? Because I will tell you, more than any question, and even on the fundamental side, as I was just saying it, when I first started trading or first started investing long term in 2001, in 2001, after I started, I would get that question, if not daily, weekly, all the time. I used to get that question consistently for 20 something years. And then I started trading on the technical analysis side, and that question continued to come up. So part of what I want to do today is give you some very specific truths about the size of the account that you need to have to start trading with. And I think these things are going to really and truly help you. So stay with me as we go through it. All right. And one thing I want to make sure that you guys know, because I told the accelerator community this morning when we were doing Behind the Trader, we do a morning session 4 days a week, Tuesday through Friday, sometimes not on Fridays, but most of the time, where they just get to kind of watch me trade live in the mornings for about 30-45 minutes. And then on Mondays, we do the Get Ready with Me session. Every Monday, we get ready for the market for trading every Monday morning. And one of the things I told him is I've got a major surprise for you guys towards the end of this live. So stick around to the end, and it has to do with this $500 account, but something special for the accelerator community. So if you haven't already, you know what to do. Hit that like button right now, right? Share this with someone that you think might need to hear about how to start an account or how to start a trading account, right? And not to throw all their money into the wind, right? Without really feeling confident in what they're doing. Share it with someone. And if you're new here and you haven't already subscribed, We're just getting started, and our goal is to hit 100 subscribers before the summer is over. So we want you to be a part of this community, and it's a safe place to talk about the things that sometimes aren't really talked about. Just they just kind of glance over them, and this is one of those topics. So I'm going to give you three things, three things around starting an account, a trading account with $500. And the very first thing is not the number one thing. I'm going to start with the second most important thing around a trading account. It's going to blow your mind. So drop a fire emoji in the comments if you've got $500 and you're ready to learn how to actually grow that account. And again, if you stick around to the end, I've got a surprise for the accelerator community that you can also watch and participate in, so you don't want to miss it. All right, so drop that fire emoji. Let me make sure I see those fire emojis for anyone in the comments. Perfect. Yep. All right, let's get it. And if you're watching this on the Rewatch crew, same thing. Drop a fire emoji if you're ready to learn how to grow. So the first thing, and this isn't even the most important thing, this is the second most important thing in my opinion. The number one mistake that kills a $500 account. This is the number one mistake. Now, this is all truths. 3 truths I'm going to give you. 3 around a $500 account. And this is the number one mistake. And this isn't even the most important thing or the most important truth, I believe. I'm going to share that one next. All right. So let's start right now talking about the disaster that can happen when you're trading a $500 account. Number one, most people try to day trade a $500 account with the completely wrong expectations. Now, we're going to be truthful here. We're going to be honest. As my pastor says, humble, open, and transparent. I didn't start my first account with $500. I blew an account, right? Several accounts when I first started, and they weren't $500 accounts. Let's be clear. And a lot of people do that. That's why I can sit here and tell you about it today. So if your first trading account, if you got some experience and you want to share, go ahead and share in the comments how much you started with your first account and if you blew it or not. I know I blew mine. And that's why this first thing I'm covering with you is that starting with the wrong expectations. If you're trying to day trade a $500 account, expecting to make $100 a day, you're not trading, you're gambling. Like straight up gambling. And there's no other way for me to put it other than that's exactly what you're doing. And don't worry, if I'm looking down, I'm just checking the comments to make sure I see what everybody's posting in the comments. If you feel brave enough to share that first account, I believe mine was man, it was either $5,000 or $1,000. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to go back and look just so I can share that accurately. All right. But if you are expecting to make $100 per day with a $500 account, you're not trading, you're gambling. That's 20% return every day. Even if you've got zero commissions on Robinhood, the psychological pressure, the psychological load that's on your shoulders mentally, that pressure will destroy you and your account, period. Number 2, small accounts create massive emotional pressure in day trading. So if you're trying to day trade the account with the wrong expectations, that emotional pressure is going to kill you. It's going to kill you on a $500 account. Blacks in the comments, he put, let's see, 3K got to 10 and blow. Man, and see that's crazy because that's exactly what can happen. And there's this phenomenon. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, but when you have early success on a big account, it makes you feel invincible. So think of your most favorite superhero in your childhood or in your entire life, whether that's Superman, the Hulk, whoever is your favorite superhero ever. That's how you feel when you start an account and go from 3K to 10K. You feel like there's just no way you can lose. You're about to take this thing to the moon. You're going to $100,000 like nothing. I'm gonna take this $3,000 account and I'm gonna. And man, when that thing, that wool, that rug gets pulled from underneath you, it is the worst and most devastating feeling when in trading and investing that you can feel. And I don't know too many traders that are still in the game, that are still trading, that haven't experienced that. So if that's you and if that's happened to you, don't worry, you're not alone. I don't know too many that haven't had that type of experience. And I've blown 10, 20,000. So let's be clear. A small account is the way to go. And I'm going to get into more of why, but I wanted to cover this first big bucket is that you can't day trade a $500 account. It just, the math doesn't work. I haven't seen success with it. And again, there could be someone out there, but for the masses, for the large majority of people that are working 9 to 5 jobs, that have kids, that have a life where they can't sit on the charts all day, every day, and they haven't developed the psychology to trade, the necessary psychology to trade, you can't day trade a $500 account, right? You'll risk 20%, 30%, even 50% of your account on one position because you're desperate for quick wins. And the last point underneath this is, and I'm checking these comments too, started back with 322. I'm up now. See, listen, not even $500. So you got somebody in the comments right now with not even $500 out here growing and not losing. That's the key. The key is not losing. That's what we talk about in the accelerator community, is that we want to minimize our losses. That is our focus. How do we minimize our losses? Because we're going to lose trades. We focus there so we have a strategy built around our risk that we know we're going to give money back to the market. It's inevitable. We want to minimize how often we do that, as well as how much per trade we do that with, right? And we got some very specific rules around that. So the third point around day trading a $500 account. Day trading forces you into emotional decisions with limited capital. Again, you are thinking that I'm going to make 20%, even 10% is really unrealistic daily on a trade of that total account. That's unrealistic. And so it's going to push you into emotional decisions. When you're trying to make quick money with limited capital, every red candle you see on that chart is going to feel like a crisis is happening, like the world is coming to an end. I've been in my car running errands, day trading, bigger accounts, risking 20 and 30% on a trade. Trade starts going the wrong way. I've had to pull over on the side of the road, sweating, with the AC on in the car, not hot flashes at the time. And it be like the world is coming to an end, almost brought to tears. And I've had others tell me the exact same thing about their experiences. It is not for the faint heart. And oftentimes this is what pushes people out of the market. And this is why a lot of people stop trading. This is part of it, because that emotional roller coaster, that losing that money does not feel good, right? You'll panic out of winners, right? So then you'll get up in trades and start panicking, right? Because of those big losses. And then you'll hold on to losers thinking they're going to turn around. I've watched trades go straight to zero, knowing there was no recovery. I mean, the drawdown just every 4 hours, every hour I'm checking. I'm up at night checking this loser that's going to zero. The time frame is working against your psychology, not your wallet, right? That day trading versus what you should be doing with the $500 account if you're just getting started, or if you're resetting, like Black said in the comments, if you're resetting and saying, okay, I blew my account, check, wipe my hands of that. I'm over it. Now I'm ready to get disciplined. Perfect. Here's where you should start, right? Here's where you should start. So if you don't know what to do with $500, I'm about to show you. But first, in the description, and it may be there, may not. You can check back later because I want to keep everybody focused. I've got a free ebook for everyone that's joining, whether you're joining me live or you're part of the Rewatch crew. The 10-minute daily trading routine. It breaks down the daily routine you need, whether you have a 9 to 5, bunch of kids, you're a soccer mom, you're going from one place to the other, you're over the road like some of my investor traders that are in the accelerator community. You work overnight, whatever it might be. This 10-minute daily routine, it's simple and it works around your schedule, and it's a way for you to invest in yourself, and you can get that ebook for free. And if you're serious about growing a $500 account the right way, I told you I have a special announcement for the disciplined trading community that's just for small account traders. See Black's in the comments. He's going to love this. So stick around to the end. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Now, here's the second truth, which I think is the most important. about a $500 account. Why $500 is exactly the perfect amount to start with. And this is just, again, my opinions, but having personally blown a ton of accounts, having coached a bunch of people who have blown accounts, and have read all these books you see behind me about this trader psychology, about risk management, this is it. This is what I kept coming back to. And frankly, I've even helped people with $200 and $300 accounts. All right. Now, this is the most important thing I think about trading a $500 account. Number one, $500 is the perfect amount to learn without devastating consequences. And the thing is, bad things happen in life and you learn from painful experiences. But what I don't want to happen to anyone that wants to start trading or that is currently still trading or that is kind of like got one foot in, one foot out because they've blown an account. It's because the devastating consequences of losing large sums of money traditionally push people completely away from the market and they never come back. And then they tell other people about how bad it is. The market, not their rules, not their risk management, not their lack of discipline, not their lack of experience, not their lack of trader psychology, but how bad the market is. Right? And that's part of it, is understanding and placing the blame squarely on the things that they should be placed on, which is the fact that we weren't ready to trade those accounts, the fact that we didn't have the discipline, knowledge, or skill to be able to do it. So trading a $500 account is the perfect way to learn without those devastating, catastrophic, traumatic consequences. And you know what's brilliant about a $500 account? It's enough money that you'll take it seriously, but not so much that losing it will destroy your life. Now, if you're a gambler and you're playing, $10,000, like maybe 500 isn't for you. Let me keep it a buck. But for the everyday person, who I think is most of my audience, it's not so much that it would destroy your life, but just enough that you don't want to lose it. It's your trading education tuition. And it's the cheapest education you're going to find out there. Because last I checked, especially with my nieces in college, and I coach a basketball team, for those of you that don't know. And I got a group that just graduated. I got another group that'll be graduating in 2026. And yeah, college is expensive, very expensive. So this $500, you'll want to not lose it. So you'll pay attention and attempt to do the right things and attempt to learn with it. But it is absolutely part of your education tuition to learn to trade. All right. The second thing around why this is the perfect amount. Small accounts force you to develop the exact skills. Key word here is skills. So underline that if you're taking notes. Small accounts force you to develop the exact skills that make big, profitable accounts. So if you want a big, profitable account, this is how you develop the skill to get to the big, profitable account. Now, drop a A in the comments for all my accelerators and future accelerators. Drop a A in the comments if you want to grow a big, profitable account. And drop the level of account that you want, right? So I, want a $10 million trading account. Not quite there yet, right? But I want to be trading. So this is separate from my income. This is separate from other investments, just to get a trading account to that level, right? So not my net worth, but drop an A in the comments if that's what you want. And it doesn't, I promise you, the way time is flying, we're 5 years removed from COVID, and it seems like it was just yesterday, right? You could have gotten 2 degrees potentially in the exact same time from the time COVID hit to now. I see your 1 billion. I see your 1 billion. So let me pause here for a second, because that billion is beautiful, right? I think for me, because I understand diversification, I don't know if I would keep $1 billion in an account that I'm trading. Would I obviously want to be a billionaire? Absolutely. I just don't think I would keep that in a trading account, if that makes sense. But another topic for another day. I love it. Yes. If you're on the rewatch crew, let me know in the comments how big you want your account to be. You're in the right place, because we're starting with $500. And the third thing around why $500 is the perfect place. Is the skills you learn, keyword again, skills. And I'm going to come back to that here right now, why skills is so important. Because number two, with small accounts force you to develop the exact skills that get you to a big profitable account. Skills. Third point is the skills you learn with a $500 account are the same skills, keyword skills, that work with a $50,000 account. The key word in everything I'm telling you about why this $500 account is the right place to start is because you're developing skills. And that helps you to build the right psychology, the right trader psychology over time to handle a $50,000 account, or like Black said in the comment, $1 billion account. Now, you don't show up in a $500 account with the appropriate trader psychology that'll be equivalent to trading a $1 billion account. That's built over time as your account grows. Your psychology, your trader psychology, because of the repetition, the discipline repeated over time, makes you a great trader with the skills and the trader psychology to be able to handle as your account grows. Now, let's break this down real quick into a simple example that I use all the time. At this point in time, I am 30 years driving, 31 to be exact. I've been driving a car with a license issued by the government, by the state, for 30 years. Each year that I drive, I collect more information, just like Tesla's collecting information in their vehicles for autonomous driving, right? They're kind of mapping. And collecting that information makes me a better driver, right? Now, there'll be a point of diminishing returns as I get older because of my motor skills. But if it was just left up to what I see and understanding and computing that information, I become a better driver with every drive. It makes me more confident about what's going on around me, watching other drivers, getting off at the right time, slowing down at the right time. Again, it just happens naturally over time. But when I was 16 years old, 15 years old, learning how to drive, at that point, I wasn't as confident as I am today. My driving psychology is not what it was when I was 15, 16 years old. I wasn't prepared to teach someone how to drive at 15, 16 years old. I can teach someone how to drive now, and I feel like I could do a really good job of helping prepare them and maintain accident-free status. And that's the same thing you do with a $500 account. It's like being 15, 16 years old driving for the first time with this $500 account. I don't want to get a 15-year-old Bugatti, a Corvette, right? A 911 Porsche. I don't want to get them that to drive for the first time. Their driving psychology is not prepared to handle that speed, number one, right? And the way that type of car might drive. It's not prepared unless they've been driving since before that point. But if they're a brand new driver, they're not ready. And it's the same thing with a $500 account. You'll handle that account because it's your first with some care. Now, you may not, again, it may not be enough. You might need 1,000 to really feel a little sting. But as you grow the account, as you've driven this account for some years, you'll be able to, at that point, develop a better driving psychology, trader psychology, whichever you want to call it. That's what makes the $500 account important. You develop the skills first, and the psychology follows as you grow the account. You see the wins, you see the success, you handle the losses in a great way, right? So now let's get to the final point, and then I'm going to actually share my proprietary trade journal so you can see how you can grow that $500 account. That's what I got coming up, and I still got an announcement for the accelerator community. Man, so far, I feel like I've shared some great things. Drop an A in the comments if you feel like you've learned something and you're more confident that you can take a $500 account, learn the skills, and grow your trading psychology. If these truths today have helped you, drop an A in the comments if they've helped you in any way, right? I want to know from you in the comments if they've helped you in any way. And then we're going to get to the third point. And like I said, we're going to cover surprise for the accelerator community, as well as I'm going to go to the charts here in a second too. Not the charts, but a spreadsheet specifically that I believe can help you. All right, we got 10 A's from Blacks in the comments. And if you're watching this on the Rewatch Crew, I truly do hope it helps you. That's why I take the time to do it. The final truth around a $500 account. The brutal truth about expectations with this $500 account. And this might hurt some people's feelings, but my hope is that it saves your account, right? Number one, $500 will not replace your income in 6 months. Let's just get real honest. You're not about to replace your income with $500. If you start with $10,000, $15,000 in your account and think you're going to replace your income, you're probably going to blow it. So no matter what the amount is, it's not about to replace your income in 6 months. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Right? I get messages all the time. How fast can I turn 500 into a 5,000? How fast can I turn 25,000 into 50,000? How fast can I start making $10,000 a month because I'm ready to quit my job? All the time. I need to probably screenshot some of these DMs, hide and protect the innocent, because I'm so happy that they reached out and they had the courage to reach out. And then we work our way into understanding that you're not about to replace your income in 6 months. If you're brand new to trading, not going to happen. If you're just starting out, it's possibly going to take you a little bit longer. If you're working a 9 to 5. Now, if you don't do anything else and you're able to do this, like a job, 6 months, it could possibly happen. I don't know where that income would be coming from, but in 6 months, it could happen. But if you've got a 9 to 5, you've got kids, spouse, family, parents, you're a TT, whatever it is, 6 months is probably not going to be enough time. I think anything is possible, but I like to set realistic expectations. And if you beat the time frame that we come up with together, right, as your coach, if we beat that time frame, then great, excellent, right? That's a win. That's a win. And you're delighted because you exceeded the expectation and you did it in less time. But if you nail it, perfect. You know what? Jamila said we mapped it out. We came to alignment on this time frame based upon these actions, based upon this amount of time I'm putting in, and we nailed it. That feels good to do what you say you're going to do. But the more you put unrealistic expectations on how you're going to replace your income and you fail to hit them, that's on you. At that point, it's not the market's fault, it's your fault. And when you disappoint yourself, when you don't do what you say you're going to do, you chip away at your confidence and your trader psychology, and you're just one step closer to being out of the market. And that's what I don't want to happen. I want to keep people in the market. Listen, if you could reliably double your money every month, wouldn't everybody just be doing it? If it was that consistent and that reliable and that systematic, everybody would be doing it. But this is what we're talking about today is reserved for the 2% of the entire world's population. And that's really it. So number one, give yourself a hand clap for being a part of that. And my goal is for you never to walk away from it. That's why I'm sharing these trading truths on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday right here on the YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications if you haven't subscribed. I'll be back here again next Tuesday. Actually, not next Tuesday, because I'm out of town with the basketball team, right? So we won't have one next Tuesday. It'll be the following Tuesday that we come back. But that's why I'm here doing it. That's the sole reason I'm doing this, is so that you stay in the market, all right? Second point around this all important expectation. Realistic expectations lead to realistic profits. So think about what's really possible. Can you grow a $500 account to a $1,000 account in 6 to 12 months if you're just starting out? Absolutely. Trading it properly, that's 100% return while getting a trading education. You show me a degree that's going to pay you to learn. Can it take longer? Yes, it absolutely can. It absolutely can. It absolutely can. And I would say, as long as it doesn't take 6 years, I think it's worth it. As long as it doesn't take, 5 years, I'd say it's worth it. As long as it doesn't take 4 years, I'd say it's worth it, because the comparative why I'm using those years specifically is because that's about what, it takes to get a college degree, possibly an MBA. And this skill set will pay you more with less effort on the other side of the skill development and the trader psychology development. You can be on your computer for 30 minutes, like I was 30, 45 minutes this morning. I'll hop back on just to check some things out when we wrap up here. But you can literally develop a skill that you can trade in 30 minutes to an hour a day and make more money than you can with your degree, provided your degree isn't in the financial markets, right? Point number 3, around this brutal expectation. The journey is more valuable than the destination, because you're able to put a multiplier on your skill once you develop the trader psychology. So if you fall in love with this journey to learn these skills and develop your trading psychology, at that point, you can just put a multiplier on what you invest and what you trade with and get whatever results you want. So the journey, once you nail that, allows you to put the multiplier on it. So if you've got, if you want to grow to that $1 billion, like we had in the comments, or that 10 million, like myself, all you have to do is add a zero, right? Add a zero as you feel comfortable. You can continue to add a zero, right? And I see one of my accelerators said they got bounced out in our messenger group. Hold on, let me make sure they can get into. I'm not sure why that's a struggle, but we're gonna make sure Arthur gets back in. Arthur's actually on the trade team as well. Been with me since 2022, 2021. So I want to make sure he can hop back on. So I just sent him the link. All right. So drop an A if that makes sense. The journey is more valuable than the destination. I want you all to flood this chat, right? Flood this chat with A's, right? The A is for accelerator. And I'm actually trying to make sure I can still see my comments since I clicked off. Hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. All right. Yep, I'm back. Drop an A, right? I want the whole comment section to be just littered with A's. Drop an A if you understand how valuable the journey is, because you can put whatever variable you want, whatever number you want, as a multiplier for the value you want in the future, right? The extreme value about this journey is in learning the skills that will help you take the $500 account to 5,000 to 50,000 to 500,000 to 5 million to 50 million to 50 billion, whatever that number is. Honestly, your biggest challenge is time. That is the most precious asset on earth. Your biggest challenge is time. How much time do you have to get to those numbers that you want for you, for your kids, for your family, whatever that might look like? Right. And as I mentioned, I created the 10-minute daily trading routine. It's going to be linked up in the comments as soon as this is over. So just tap back on the live and it'll be available to you, right? And now what I want to do, as promised, I made a big promise at the beginning to share something I'm doing for the accelerator community, which also includes the trade team. And anyone that joins the accelerator community, you can participate with me real time. All right, real time. So for the accelerator community, around this $500 account, I'm going to create what's called the $500 club inside of the accelerator community. So anyone that wants to start, and even if you don't have a $500 account, if it's $100, $300, just anything around the $500 mark, the $500 club. And what I'm going to do when I get back from this last basketball trip of the summer, which I'm excited about, but I am actually happy to be done for the summer. After this trip, I think on the 17th, I'll be completely done. I'm going to start the club and I'm going to set up an account and I'm going to show you how to grow it. I'm going to show you how to grow that $500 account. You'll get to see the trades. You'll get to see the strategies that I use, the risk management, everything. All access pass for the accelerator community, right? You're going to get to see how to do that in the $500 club. So drop some fire emojis in the comments for my accelerators who are excited about the $500 club. coming to you. I wish I could start today, but I didn't want to get started, have to take a few days off and then come back to it. So we're going to be all set up, ready to go when I get back to town around the 17th or 18th. I'm trying to look at the calendar and be accurate, but I'll drop it in the community. Big announcement, big splash, may even do a live talking about it so that you understand what's happening in the $500 club. So you're going to get the opportunity to watch me do that real time. You can trade alongside me in your Pray for Trade account. You can take the trades if you choose to or not at your own risk. Remember, this is for training and educational purposes only, and really just for fun. Just for fun and entertainment, and ultimate goal is to keep people in the market. So that's the big announcement. I see your fire emojis. If you're watching this on the Rewatch crew, hey, go ahead and drop your fire emojis as well. And if you want to watch and participate and get the knowledge from this $500 club and trading this account, go ahead, hit the link in the description, join the Accelerator community. We'd love to have you. We've got a few slots left for our founding members in the Accelerator community. Again, we're live almost every day of the week at this point, except for weekends. We do master classes once a week on specific topics, and you get an opportunity to actually have a topic that of your choice for the master classes as well. So $500 club coming to the Accelerator community real soon, and a little bit over a week we'll get started. So you still got some time to join. All right, now we're going to go to the charts. And I didn't set up, not the charts. I always say that because that's literally what I do. The bulk of the time is go to the charts. Um, I want to share my screen. So you're going to actually watch me set this up real time. I want to share a specific um, spreadsheet. All right, let's grab it. This is the one I'm going to share. I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little bit smaller. And this spreadsheet specifically, come on, give me some room here. Oh, I realize it's locked. I was like, why is this not giving me what I want? All right, so I'm gonna make myself a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to make this spreadsheet a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. I meant to set this up beforehand, but man, be running out of time. Things be busy. All right, so with this spreadsheet, and this is a spreadsheet that I've used. I think I built this. I think Arthur's in the chat. He probably recognizes it on the trade team, but I feel like I built this spreadsheet in 2021, 2022, and it basically is a trade journal. It's the DTT trade journal, but I'm going to use it today just to show you how to grow the $500 account. Now, there are some fields in here that are automatically calculating. So I'm not going to get into all the calculations, but what you're going to see here is the $500 up and to the left. And I'm going to actually zoom in just a little bit so we can make sure you guys can see that really good. I'm going to wait for it to adjust on my screen here. But what you're going to see is the $500 right here, which would be your account balance. So you could enter into this cell, like I said, $10,000, and numbers are going to start to adjust, right? I'm going to go back to the $500 account just so you can see how you can grow it, right? And in this journal, you could enter the date, the month. You can use this by trade, however you wanted to use it. So you enter a symbol, and let's say you're trading options and you bought an options contract for 70 cents, just one contract that cost you $70 to start. And let's say you won the trade and you exited with $1.15 in premium. Your actual gain on that trade, which again, this is calculated, would be $45 on that trade. And you can see for this specific trade, or like I said, you could do this by month if you chose to, you'd have $545 at the end of this trade once you took profit, right? $45. Now, what it's showing you down here from a risk standpoint is not 100% accurate, because as an accelerator, as a disciplined trade team member, you're not risking that whole 70 cents. You're actually risking more like your max, because your max loss right here is showing $70, right? But in fact, we're going to, at a minimum, only going to be risking $35 minimum on this trade. Minimum. So we're going to take, our stop loss is going to be set at 50%. It might be even tighter. So now you're seeing with this specific trade, which will be a little bit out of my range, I'm not going to lie to you, I wouldn't be at 6%. Disciplined trade team knows that. But just for illustration purposes, I like to be around 2%. This is 6% of your account. I think that's too high. But again, just for illustration purposes, so you can see how the account would grow. The next trade, whatever date, it could be HYT symbol. I don't even know what that is. And let's just say the options contract premium is 65 cents. One contract costs you $65 to get in. And let's say you get out at $1.50. You make $85. Max loss 65, which again, not losing that much money. I can't even leave it on screen. I'm not going to let this thing go to zero. We already talked about that earlier. I'm not going to deep dive into the risk management part right here, but if that's something you'd like to know more about, how that risk management works, how I came up with the 2%, drop in the comments if that's something you'd like to know more about, right? Drop risk in the comments if you want one of these sessions, one of these Trader Truth Tuesdays to be about risk. Drop that in the comments and I'll be sure to line that up in the agenda list for what's coming next, right? But not going to get into it, but I can tell you 6 and 4% is not where I would be. But you can see that the account went from 500 to 545 to 630. And then let's say, and we're going to get to a loss here in a second, and you're going to see why this is so important and why the numbers matter so much. Let's say you get into another trade, ticker symbol JBB, B, and the premium is 194, one contract. It costs you 194 to get in. Let's say you get out at 250. You make $56. Definitely not risking 194. Probably risking 60 on the max. Actually, I hate 8%. So let's go down to 45 because I can't handle it. Just even looking at it is hard for me. And at that point, your account goes from 630 to 686. And let's just say the next trade is entry premium is $2.05. Cost is $2.05. Exit is $2.75. You make $70. Max loss is $2.05. But again, not risking that much. Say $45. Now my account goes from $6.86 to $7.56. And let's just say I got back into JBB again because I really like that stock. Right? And drop an A in the comments. Drop an A in the comments for me if you're tracking with how we're growing this account with just a simple options contract. And let me know if you have any questions. I don't want to go too fast, but I just want you to see the gradual growth. I want you to see the gradual growth. This next trade is a loss, all right? Because you're going to lose trades. It happens. We're going to go back to JBB, the one we love, and say, okay, what if I entered and got a 60-cent contract? I got 2 of them this time. So it cost me $120 to get in. My exit premium would not be 8 cents. Again, I'm going to get out. My stop loss is at least half the way, but I'm going to say 35 cents is where I got out. I didn't make any money on this trade. Max loss is that $35, which is about 5% of the account. And I'm going to change this. I'm going to manually change this because it's calculating wrong. Because I'm changing things as I go. And so you can see that my account went from 756 to 721. Again, I just want to make sure you guys are tracking with me. So either tap that 100 in the emoji section or drop A just so I know y'all are tracking with me and that it makes sense to you. I don't want to go too far and it not make sense, but I just want you to see visually on paper, not on the market, not technical analysis, but I want you to see on paper how a $500 account should grow. And again, with losses. And then you come back, and I'm not going to go through the math anymore at this point. I'm just going to go straight to the value and the loss, win or loss. Perfect. Thanks, Black. So here's your loss. I'm back down to 721. I come back with the win. I go up to 786. I come back with a loss. I'm down to 691, which again, I would not lose $100 on a trade. So let's go ahead on and wipe that out because I can't do it. So I go down to 741, then I go up to 793, and you can just see over time, Carolyn is growing, as well as when you lose. It's an up and down affair, but you want to go up and to the right. Just like the stock market goes up, has a little slight pullback, goes up. Your pullback cannot be back to where you started. For example, I can't get to 900 and then go back to 5 in one or two trades. That's crazy because I shouldn't be risking, and you see these percentages down here, would not be risking this much money. I'm a 2%, less than 2% risk per trade of the account value. But again, this is just for illustration purposes, just so you can see the pace at which you could grow an account. So let me know in the comments, any questions on that? Does it make sense? The pace that you want to keep up? Let me know in the comments if that makes sense. And I'm pulling up the comments here on the screen because this to me is step one. When I sat down and did this on paper, when the market was closed, it was a weekend, I'll never forget it. And I just sat down and I started playing with these numbers, just tinkering with them, trying to figure out where I want to be, right? Where I want to be, I just started tinkering with it. So Blacks, drop the A in the comments. Appreciate you. And drop if you have a question. Drop if you're ready to be a part of the $500 club. Just type 500 in the comments if you're ready to be a part of the $500 club. But I can remember doing this spreadsheet, and this is the exact spreadsheet. I've cleaned it up a little bit because it was an absolute mess. Because I was just playing with the numbers, trying to figure out what worked for me, my trader psychology at the time, that made sense, that I would be comfortable losing first and foremost, and that I'd want to make on a schedule. And I did this worksheet, and then I shared it with the trade team like a year later, and broke it down to them, explained it to them so that they could get it. I see your 500 in the comments. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is it. And that's how I came up with the 2%. And then this is the tracker by trade. And this is the growth rate. Now, again, like I told you, depending upon where you start, right? 500 is what we're talking about today. But if you wanted to put that billion in there, I think that's a billion right there. No, 100 million. You can see that thing gets real wild at a billion. Open that up a little bit so we can see the numbers. But still, at that amount, you're only making $45. But if I brought that risk up and that risk moved to like $450, $600, now I'm getting closer to that 1%. But you are able to make these adjustments in this trade journal to understand for yourself. Because 2% might not be the right number for you. You might only want to risk 1%. Or you might want to risk, 2.5, 3. I would never recommend more than 4. But how I got to 2 real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. And again, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you get the notifications when we do the next Trade Truth Tuesday, right? You want to be on the list, trust me, because we're going to be, again, covering the stuff that really, honestly, nobody wants to talk about, So that's what we'll be covering as we go through the weeks by week. But one of the things that I did was I sat there and I said, okay, if I have $500 in the account and I use 2%, right, as my risk. Oops, forgot that. That'd be $10 a trade. I could then effectively say, okay, well, and it might give me a circular reference. That means I could actually place 50 trades and lose all 50 before I would blow my account. Am I okay with that? Am I all right with that? Does that make me feel okay to be at 2%? Right? And then I said, okay, well, what if I go a little higher, right? What if I go to 5%? Then I would only get 20 trades. And and I'm going to put this here just so we have it as a marker as I change it. If I go to 4% risk, at that point, I'd be risking $25 per trade, which means if I lost every trade that I place, I would actually get to place 20 trades in total on that account. I wasn't comfortable with that. That seemed like I could get through that pretty quickly. If I'm doing 2 trades a week, 3 trades a week, I'd blow that account pretty quickly if I lost every trade. Now, this again, worst case doomsday scenario. And this is what I personally went through to understand what I was comfortable with. And you can go through the same exercise. All right, so then let's say this is why I knew 10% absolutely wasn't it. 10 trades and I'm done? Absolutely not. Right? And you can then go and say, okay, well, let me see what 1% would be. I get 100 trades at 1%. Now, I don't know, how many options contracts or what stocks you'd have to be on to do that. Might be a little difficult, but not impossible if you know what you're doing. But 100 trades for my college education on trading, 100 trades on a live account is absolutely the correct recipe to learn, to get the education, build your trader psychology. Imagine taking 100 trades with the same strategy, the same checkpoints every time. And let's just say you win 50%. You've grown that account. If you're using the right risk management, you're going to be up and you're going to be happy, even at 50%. So that is why, number one, a $500 trade account. That's why a $500 trade account is so valuable. That's why it's so important. I've been talking about releasing this ebook, How to Trade with a $500 Account, and I put it on pause. You know why I put it on pause? I was going to release it on the 1st of July because I wanted to make sure it had absolutely everything in it that it needed. Some of the stuff we're talking about today, I just wanted it to be perfect the first go round. I know that's not possible, and I can do revisions and do second editions of the ebook if possible, but I knew there was more I needed to put in it. So I've delayed it. No release date yet, but hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'm going to have How to Grow a $500 Account ready and available to you for free. That's going to be a free resource. I'm just not hitting that first deadline. It's not happening because I want to make sure it's as good a version as it can be for the first version for anyone that wants to grab it and do something with it. And then you can come back and get the second edition at the end of the year for Christmas or next year or some point like that. So that's what I have for you guys today. Again, drop some fire emojis. If you're excited about the $500 club, I'm going to rearrange my screen. I'm grabbing some comments too. It wasn't an actual chart day that we covered, right? It wasn't an actual chart day, but it was a Excel spreadsheet type of day, right? An Excel spreadsheet type of day. And let me know how valuable, in your own words, I would really love to know how valuable this session, this Trading Truth Tuesday was for you. I would really love to know in the comments how valuable this was to you. That really helps me to know what's important, what makes sense. Just let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I see some fire emojis from Blacks. Anybody else, if you're watching this on the Rewatch crew, let me know if this was helpful. I hope to have my studio completely designed so you get a better backdrop. I've got some recording to do for my career consulting company as well. So I'm trying to get it all done before I leave, if not the week I get back. So hopefully the next time we're here together, the studio will be set how it needs to be set. But let me know how you feel about this and if you're excited about the $500 club. I know that I am. When the idea hit me, I was just like, oh, this is perfect. Let's do this. No doubt, right? So we covered 3 brutal, honest truths around a $500 account. And you can share these with other people as well. I'm just going to recap them real quick for you, right? Number 1, the biggest mistake that kills $500 accounts. Most people try to day trade with a $500 account. That's not it. Don't do it. Day trading, too much emotional pressure and too many emotional decisions, right? Second big thing, why $500 is the perfect amount, because it allows you to build skills like you're in college. And as you build the skills and get more experience, that develops your trader psychology. So you have to, it's like climbing up a set of stairs or flights of stairs. And then you get to this point, if you're in a building, where you get this flat base and then you kind of turn and go the next way. That's for efficiency. I also think it's for me to get a break on that stair climb. So you go up one flight, you kind of walk across, and then you go back up. So that first flight is the skill. The first flight is the skill. The only way you can take the second flight of stairs is if you've got the skill, which is when you develop your psychology, your trader psychology. And that to me is how you do it, right? And then expectations, right? Having an expectation that you're going to replace your income in a few months, in a month, in 2 trades is completely unrealistic. Completely unrealistic. And I don't want you guys out here in the streets like that. All right. I don't want you out in the streets like that. So Black said, I can't wait because I'm starting back over. So this will help me not make the same mistakes again. Hey, you're a part of the accelerator community. The one thing, the word discipline is at the heart of everything we do in the accelerator community. Underneath that, one layer below that is our risk management. You'll never blow another account again if you follow what we do in the accelerator community as a part of the discipline trading team. You will never blow another account again. It's not even possible with what we do. Unless you just start gambling and throwing money in there, it'll never happen again. Arthur, discipline trade team did Excel sheet in 2022, game changer. I told you guys I couldn't remember the exact year, but this spreadsheet, I developed it, shared it with the team in 2022, and it just allows you to sit back. And again, it's a spreadsheet, it's not a chart. It allows you to sit back and think through it. Appreciate you sharing that, Arthur. Great to see you. Happy belated birthday again. He's celebrating a birthday, so happy birthday again to you. I hope you are turned up the rest of this month. All right, so that's what I have for you all today. Again, I'll be out of town traveling, and I can't commit to an exact time because of the game schedule. So we'll take a pause next week, and then we'll be back the following Tuesday with our next Trading Truth Tuesday. I'm going to try to get that posted over the next couple of days, so you can go ahead. If you're already subscribed to the channel, your notifications will come up as soon as I post it, and you can just click that you're coming, you're attending, and it'll send you a notification when it's time for me to go live. All right. So, and you'll get a reminder too, I think, beforehand. But either way, that's available to you. Every Tuesday we'll be here except for next Tuesday. That basketball team. This is my last summer with them. This is my last trip with them. So I'm super excited about that. And then, as I mentioned in the comments, so as soon as I click off, you'll have a link to get the 10-minute daily trading routine ebook. You can get that right now. If you're watching this on the Rewatch Crew, it's in the description. Go ahead and do that. And again, if you haven't already commented, liked, or subscribed, man, what you doing? I just gave you an hour masterclass. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right? Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and be sure to share this with someone else. All right. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you not this Tuesday, but next. But if you're for real, I'll see you in the accelerator community. The link's in the description. Stay disciplined.